Press play. Happy Friday. Good evening. We're back to talk to you about the big issue of the season. 3 months running now, COVID-19. Press play is a product of Black Book Studio, and Black Net Video Network News. We're live tonight. If you'd like to chat with us, just go to YouTube, toss in the search bar, Black Video Network, all one word, no spaces, and we'd like to hear from you. We're going to open up the chat line soon, so stay focused. Tonight we're going to talk about several issues unrelated to COVID-19 before we get to a special guest that we have on that's going to talk to us about some of the ways that we deal with mental fatigue, depression, frustration, claustrophobia, cabin fever, and folks that are really kind of dealing with a lot of different issues right now. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. For those of you that didn't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We just still got a couple days before we're out of the month, but we're going to be bringing on some folks that can help us kind of sort through some of the mental issues we may be dealing with. Before we do that, let's talk about some of the national things that are going on across the country. It's no mystery if you've been watching the news that it's still no picnic to be Black in America. It may be popular if you're an athlete or rapper or entertainer, but as soon as we hear about something like what happened with George Floyd in Minneapolis being kneed to death, knee as in need to death, by law enforcement, we realize that, at any given time, being an African American on the streets, particularly a male, something like this can happen to you, so always be cautious. And also the incident that happened in Central Park, New York, with the young lady who made a frantic 911 call, telling that her life was threatened, her dog was threatened by an African American man who really was just trying to follow the law. She had her dog unleashed and in a park, and that was not appropriate, but she created such a hysteria that again, if it were not for him turning on his camera, no telling what could have happened to him. So as African Americans, it's still challenging out there. Our greatest tool has become our camera. Keep that phone with you at all times and make sure, should you find yourself in a situation with law enforcement, we got to love them. Those folks are great too. It's not a general thing that's wrong with law enforcement. They're just bad apples. And you could come up against one of those, and you've got to make sure you protect yourself and be smart. Don't try and resist or whatever, but keep that camera close because that's become our greatest tool. All right, back to COVID-19. It's still doing its damage in the country, across the country here. And if we talk about locally here, according to the Rivard report yesterday, total cases now are 2,583, 58 new cases in the city, 17 new cases from community, 2 are from group settings, and there's 71 deaths. The latest death, according to Rivard report yesterday, is an African American male in his 60s. We're still trying to do the research here at Black Book Studios to determine who in fact that person is, because we likely might know of him or his family, and we want to pass along our condolences. COVID is doing its thing, and even though society is trying to get back to some semblance of life that we knew before, it'll never be the same. We're still kind of, the new normal is still evolving, and it's coming around. One thing is for sure, those of us that are still standing through COVID-19 have hit some form of mental fatigue. Again, a lot of folks are depressed, frustrated. Either you found yourself isolated at home or social distance to death, or maybe not to death, but social distance in a way where you were away from all the things that you were familiar with, and even some people that you were familiar with. And we all now are reaching for what we can find in our tool bag or life to help us through this current situation. So personally, when I'm in a fog or dealing with some sort of depression or find myself between a rock and a rock, I've always reached for the therapy of travel. Get on the road, get out your own zip code, go someplace, let the wind blow through your windows. God willing, you got the means to get on a plane or a boat or something that does the driving for you. Just get outside of your own familiarity, and it can hopefully distract you from what you're dealing with, help you clear your head, and then you can come on back to life as you knew it before you traveled. So we've decided that we're going to talk to a group in town who is in the travel business, and we're going to introduce you to what they do. We're going to talk to you a little bit about their company and background and their particular frontline therapy for helping folks through COVID-19. So with no further ado, I want to introduce you to both Cindy and Aaron Story of Storybook Vacations.
Yes.
Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you so much.
Aaron's in the studio too. He's just having a seat in another area. So we're going to talk to Cindy from Storybook Vacations about their company and how it can help folks like us with COVID-19. So welcome, Cindy.
Thank you, Cedric. How are you?
Life is good. Life is good.
Good.
Getting through
Absolutely.
COVID-19. So
Absolutely.
introduce yourself to us, a little bit about your background, and then we'll talk about your organization, your company.
Okay, well, thank you, number one, for having us on, for asking us to come on. Aaron and I are residents of San Antonio, Texas. We are not from San Antonio originally, but we got here as fast as we possibly could. I'm a Texan, originally from Denton, and my husband is from Boston, Massachusetts. And we met here and are raising our 4 daughters here. So we both have an Air Force background. He is an Air Force veteran, and I am still currently in the Air National Guard. So, and also working as an Air Force civilian. So we both have full-time jobs. We're a busy family, but we absolutely love to travel as a family. That's our passion, and that's the way we relieve stress. That's the way we get away from the everyday cares of the world. And so we are absolutely excited to be here to talk about travel, something we haven't had a lot of opportunity to do in the last 3 months.
But everybody loves it.
Yes,
right?
everybody loves
everybody
travel.
needs a little bit.
Yes.
So Storybook Vacations. First of all, how did you come up with the name, and when did you start? What's the history?
Okay, so as far as the history of our business, Storybook Vacations was born on the 31st of December. We were offered the opportunity to purchase our own travel agency, and we absolutely took it upon ourselves to do that. It is a home-based business, and between myself and my husband, between our careers in the Air Force and leisure travel with our family, we've covered about 20 countries corporately. So travel is something we have a passion for, and we love helping other people plan their vacations. And so in terms of how Storybook Vacations came about, our last name is pronounced Storoy, but people say story all the time.
Okay.
So it just made sense to go ahead and incorporate that and use that and call ourselves Storybook Vacations, because that's absolutely what we are vested in, is making your vacation and making your dream vacation a reality. So that's a little bit about Storybook.
So your last name is pronounced Storoy. Storoy.
Yes.
Let me see if I can get that
That's
right.
okay.
So I don't mess
That's
that up.
okay. We
So I don't
get
mess that
all
up again.
kinds.
Okay, so and you guys do this part-time, kind of a sideline to your full-time profession.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We're working the business every day. It is not yet a venture that we are doing full-time, but that is definitely the goal here in the next couple of years, is to be doing that full-time and helping others really have fun and to find their mental resilience through travel.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And we appreciate your service, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Air
you.
Force is a good way of life.
Yes, it is.
So as it relates to COVID-19 and everyone dealing with some form of mental fatigue,
Yes.
I mean, how do you feel about travel as a tool for helping a person through that?
Well, I'll tell you, between Forbes magazine and Psychology Today, both have experts that say absolutely travel is a way to not only relieve stress, but it relieves endorphins when you're either planning for travel or actually travel. Activity is essential for mental health. And so, May being Mental Health Awareness Month, we absolutely wanted to make sure that people understand that number one, travel will live again. I absolutely promise you it will.
It's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Okay.
Big boom. We have Disney opening up in July. We also have our cruise lines are going to be opening up in August, and European travel opens up in July as well. So people are very hopeful. The other thing too is that travel is a $10 trillion a year business. So that is globally, and we execute about $1 trillion right here in the United States. So we occupy about 10% of that. As Americans love to work hard, but we also love to play hard. So, and travel also encourages commerce. Without travel, without the interactions between different regions, between different countries, it's very difficult to stay up on the economy and to stay ahead financially. So not only is travel essential to mental wellness, it's also essential to the pocketbook as far as our country is concerned.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Again, it's my tool, it's my go-to tool. And again, I've had the luxury. I'm also, I wasn't in the military, but I was a dependent. So I've had the luxury of seeing the world.
Absolutely.
And knowing that, there's great places to go that are scenic and therapeutic.
Yes. Yes.
Just get there.
Yes. Well, thank you for your service because, being part of a military family is not always easy. So thank you.
It's not, Cindy. That's for sure. Those of us who've been there, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So did either of you have aspirations to go into entrepreneurship and sort of do your own thing, or did you guys decide as a couple that we just need another source of income, or what was your inspiration?
Why? Our why?
Why?
No, absolutely. My husband and I are always looking for different avenues to establish not just financial freedom, but time freedom. We have 4 growing girls, 15, 12, 11, and 2. Okay, so we do have a toddler.
Busy.
And so, absolutely. So our goal is always to spend more time with our girls. And we found that through this business venture, we absolutely can do that. There's something to be said about being in charge of your own time. But the other thing too is we absolutely love our government jobs, but having the opportunity to help others, having the opportunity to really meet people where they are is essential for us, and this business allows us to do that. So, but I would absolutely say increase time with our girls and increase freedom to do what we need to do with our time was our justification for why.
Okay.
Yes.
And as an agency, you can offer discounts and special vacations and destinations to folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, when you asked about COVID, how we've kind of been involved with that, we recently partnered with the Adopt a Senior, the San Antonio Adopt a Senior Initiative, and we were able to award 20 free vacations to 20 deserving seniors. They were all deserving, but they did a raffle and then they chose 20, and so we were able to award them at least a 3-day, 2-night stay, different locations, domestically and internationally, and they were thrilled. So that's the way we were able to give back in times such as these.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you guys take advantage of some of your own great business discounts? And
Absolutely, absolutely. So I would definitely
been anywhere
encourage...
that's exciting you want to brag about?
Well, I will say for us, we actually have a cruise planned in October to the Eastern Caribbean. It is actually a travel agent venture. So we do, as travel agents, get deep discounts because that is our product. And we need to travel in order to let our customers know about that product. Okay. So we definitely encourage, of course, we're here to provide any travel needs for folks out there, but we also provide entrepreneurial opportunities. So definitely contact us, friend us on Storybook Vacations on Facebook, and we can talk to you about how to purchase your own travel agency.
And by the way, again, we're live right now. If you guys would like to chat with Cindy or Aaron or us here at the studio,
please
just go to YouTube, Black Video Network in the search bar, all one word, no spaces. So Cindy,
Thank you.
we have the privilege of meeting with and talking to, interviewing and getting to learn a lot about leaders and entrepreneurs and folks that are in control of their own destiny. One of the things I've discovered is most leaders have a go-to book. They have something that they refer back to on a regular basis. Sometimes it's an occasional basis.
Yes.
Every 2 years, every year.
Yes.
I mean, but it could be monthly, weekly, daily, Bible, Quran, whatever your thing is. And typically you'll find that book on their nightstand. So my question to you is, as a bona fide leader, what's on your nightstand?
Oh, wow. Okay, so we run the gamut, anything from business books. We love Eric Worre. GoPro is a great book if you are an aspiring entrepreneur and just want to learn a little bit about marketing. But I will have to say our go-to book as a family is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. The 5 Love Languages has been out for a while, and so but they also have 5 love languages for couples and children. And as a busy mom, I refer to both on a regular basis. So because I'm managing personalities and I have different personalities in my household, I always have to remember how this person needs to feel loved or how this person needs to feel loved. So the 5 love languages absolutely helps me do that. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, absolutely keep it on your nightstand.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think there's different editions of it, right?
Yes, there's different ones. They have, oh my gosh. Well, the main ones we refer to are ones for couples and ones for children to sort of break that down. But now, I don't know, they probably have at least 7 different versions.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
How can our audience, our viewing audience here, help you guys with what you're doing?
Well, I would
You're
say,
looking for new customers, of course, right?
oh, always, always. If for those of you who are looking to travel, whether it's locally in our awesome United States or internationally, please friend us on Facebook at Storybook Vacations. We absolutely want to help you with your family reunions, your girls' trips, your honeymoon destinations, your wedding destinations, whatever it is you have in terms of travel. We are your full service travel agency. And we don't charge any additional fees for our services. What some people don't realize is that there are travel commissions built into the travel that you book as an individual. So someone's getting paid those commissions, and as a travel agency, that is how we make our money, is through the commissions that are built into the travel anyway. So I would just say refer, but most of all, don't give up on travel. That's how I would say you can help us and other fellow travel agents is don't let fear set in. Absolutely start planning your trip, whether it's 6 months, a year from now. The planning starts now. And so we can absolutely give you the prices for some of the places that you need to go to, that you've always wanted to go to. I think this pandemic has definitely made us more thankful for our lives, and definitely made us sort of give some second thoughts to traveling and really living life while we're on this earth. And so I would say refer. So thank you for asking that question.
We're talking to Cindy Storoy
Very good.
of Storybook Vacations. We're going to take a quick break here. This is Press Play from Black Video Net.
To 7 p.m. daily. Connect to the Spurs Give Network upon arrival. Considering becoming an organ or
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger, With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk.
It's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
It's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted. Because of you,
Welcome back to Press Play. I'm Cedric Fisher, your host. Press Play is a weekly broadcast from Black Video Network News here in San Antonio, the Black Book Studios. Tonight we have our featured guest from Storybook Vacations, Miss Cindy Storroy, and we're talking about COVID-19 and all the ways we can get through mental fatigue and all the issues that might be happening as a result of being self-isolated and social distanced and sheltered at home for so long that the cobwebs start climbing all over you. So welcome back, Cindy.
Thank you, Cedric.
Thank you for coming on the show tonight. So let's talk about mental health and how do you guys really feel that you might be able to assist a person who's struggling with mental health?
Well, I'll speak from personal experience. When COVID, the whole shutdown came about around the 22nd or so of March, things began to cancel. We had several conferences, travel agent conferences that were scheduled, and those conferences began to be canceled. And about 10 days in, I thought, oh my goodness, are we really going to be able to get through this COVID-19? And I started to get down. I started to feel a little depressed, like what in the world is going on? And when I start to feel depressed, you know something is wrong. So I just say I was able to get out of that funk, if you will, but really, number one, remembering the God that I serve, and the fact that I'm his child and this too shall pass was very important in that regard. Yeah. But the other part of that was making sure to keep hope alive and planning for the future. Sometimes the more we stay isolated, the more we want to stay isolated. It's a self-perpetuating situation. So what I would encourage your listeners to do is to get outside, get fresh air. Obviously you want to continue to practice safe social distancing, but things like, watching the sunrise, watching the sunset, reading a book outside, fresh air, we absolutely need that oxygen that comes from outside versus perpetually being inside. So that would be my first piece of advice. The other thing is learn how to use Zoom. We have had travel parties over the last couple months and they have been fantastic.
Travel parties.
Travel parties.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We used to do our travel parties in person. And what that really is it's like travel trivia, education, doing games, getting people excited about travel and where they're going to go next. But that was very difficult when COVID-19 hit. But I will tell you, using Zoom has opened up a whole new virtual reality for people who feel isolated. Those travel parties have contributed to people feeling more hopeful, to folks feeling like they're able to connect, but if they're fearful about going outside, they don't necessarily have to. I would absolutely encourage you, if you don't know how to use Zoom, get to know how to use Zoom. Use it with your family. It's free. You can use it on your cell phone. You can use it on your laptops. It's very user-friendly, and you can actually organize family reunions. You can do wine clubs, book clubs. Again, connecting with people is really how we get our energy. As a community, it's important that we stay connected. So absolutely use your Zoom. And then the third recommendation I would have is locally, our parks are open. You know, I mean, the state parks are open, the local parks are open. Absolutely get out with your family, do some bike riding, do some walking. You can still do those things if you want to wear your face mask or what have you, but you're still able to do that safely while recreating. You need to move your legs and feet, you need to move your arms, you need to breathe fresh air. And when you do that, man, you will see a physical change that then affects your emotional change. So, and all of that is kind of intrinsic to travel, but if you're, again, too fearful to travel far, travel locally. You know, get outside, go to a restaurant that has open patio dining. There's plenty here in San Antonio, and they're very safe. Everyone's wearing a face mask now, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of unavoidable.
Yeah.
But definitely. And then we've got bed and breakfasts up in Fredericksburg. Again, state and local parks. Even the zoo now has opened. They were doing drive-through zoo, but now you're able to actually do the regular walking around in the zoo. So get out, really get out.
Yeah. Travel's
It's
important.
important.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
And it can be free. You know.
Yes, it can be free. It
Right.
can be low cost. I mean,
Could
it
you-
doesn't have to cost you anything.
You can walk to a creek or
That's right.
find a trail somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
And folks, don't forget you can chat at Black Video Network in your YouTube search bar. So, Cindy,
Yes, sir.
you're an agency. You're a travel agency. Okay. And I'm thinking about why should I choose you?
Okay, good question. Well, I will say this, Cedric. We do not charge additional fees like most travel agencies, especially your brick and mortars. Again, nothing wrong with those agencies, but in order to keep the lights on, in order to pay their personnel, in order to pay rent, they have to extend those fees to their customers. We are a home-based travel agency, so we work that from our office at home. And so there are no additional fees to speak of. And so we're able to absolutely give our customers the best service and the best prices.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's your unique selling advantage.
Yes.
What are your plans for the future? Where do you guys go from here with your company?
agency,
At some
okay.
point, you'll retire from the military, I believe.
Yes.
So what's next for Storybook Vacations?
Well, that's a great question. So we do have a 5-year plan to at least be doing the business full time here in the next couple years. But as we're doing that, we're also building our team of travel agents. So we have partnered with about 45 travel agents since we started on the 31st of December. We've grown our team.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Nice network.
And yes, it's
Yeah.
really, really awesome. And those individuals, of course, are independent travel agents, booking travel for their customers and doing their thing. But, you know, just like the Black community is very corporate, just like we, you know, I am because you are because I am, that is rooted in our culture. And so with our company, our goal in the next 5 years is to help other families win. We absolutely are dedicated to helping those individual travel agents grow their entrepreneurial businesses and reach their entrepreneurial dreams. So we're also mentors and coaches in the community. So really in the next 5 years, I see us continuing to book travel, but also growing our team to the point where we're continuing to coach and mentor others so that families can achieve the financial and time freedom that we're looking to achieve.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good. Just thought of another question. I know
Yes.
the travel industry for sure took a huge hit with COVID-19.
Absolutely.
I was looking at some statistics, reading some statistics online yesterday, and I know airlines during the month of March took like a 50% hit in passengers. The month of April, a 95% hit. Do you think the industry will ever recover, or what's it going to look like in the future? Will it get back to where it was before, or
I
And
Yeah.
part of the question
Yeah.
is I know planes, like airplanes, are trying to retrofit the planes now where they're taking the middle row out so people can social distance. I don't know what they're doing on cruises and things, but tell us what you kind of know about what to look for as travel continues in the future, post-corona.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. There's going to be a new normal. There's going to be a new normal for travel. There's going to be a new normal for the way we commune, for the way we interact as people. So absolutely, face masks are going to be mandatory. I believe that's just my prediction
And
to
the
a
plane
certain
will give them
extent.
to us,
Absolutely.
or will they drop out?
They're absolutely. So what's already
Awesome.
happening, if you've seen on the news, they have vending machines where you can purchase your own personal PPE, your personal protective equipment. So you now can go to certain, and more airports are going to get this. You're going to be able to go to a vending machine and purchase exactly what you need. Yes, the forward-leaning airlines are absolutely going to provide those face masks to you the way they provide a cup of water or ginger ale. So that is going to be the new normal. I will tell you though, because travel is so intricate to our commerce and to our financial health as a country, it's not going anywhere. We have survived 9/11. Nobody was traveling after that. We have survived the 2008 economic crash, right around the time President Obama was taking place. Unfortunately, he held that on his shoulders, even though it wasn't his fault. But travel survived that. We have had swine flu, bird flu, even before now this pandemic has happened, and travel always comes back in full effect. So it absolutely is going to happen because, number one, Americans, I'll tell you, we work so hard, we don't know what to do if we can't take a vacation. So I just, and I will tell you, if travel is in jeopardy for some reason, that means our mental health is going to continue to be in jeopardy because we got to get out of here. So I'll just say that I think that sanitation is going to be huge. There'll be people spraying and wiping things down constantly. We went to Costco just this afternoon for gas, and there were people newly hired to spray down all the gas equipment, all the gasoline equipment as people were coming through. That's a new feature, and it's here to stay. But as far as travel itself, the cruises, which always do very well in terms of cleanliness and sanitation, will continue. I will say cruising, for those of you who have been on cruises, you know how clean those boats are. It is phenomenal, the things they've been able to do. But things such as buffets, yeah, that probably is going to change,
Good
right?
point, yeah.
Because the food, the way you select your food, there are buffets upon buffets on cruises, but that is definitely going to change. But in terms of the cleanliness, I believe the cruise industry has always been ahead of the game from any other industry in terms of cleanliness. So that'll only get better. But as far as recovering, with Disney opening in July, y'all best believe there are things that are already sold out. And already Carnival has exceeded their October sales for 2020 from 2019.
No kidding.
They've already outsold their.
Because I think the first cases of COVID-19 was on a Carnival cruise.
Probably discovered, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably discovered, yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So Mental Awareness History, or Mental Health Awareness Month is May. Again, we're talking about COVID-19 and mental fatigue and all the issues that folks are dealing with.
Yes.
Then there's a higher level of mental health, and it's PTSD. Are there any statistics, or do you have any information that shows that it can impact or help PTSD at all, or?
As far as travel and vacationing?
Right.
Well,
I mean, because if you think about it,
yes.
It should help, but I'm just wondering if it's a real therapy, or I'm not sure if it's prescribed or anything, but if based on what you know as an expert.
I will say, well, yeah, I'm a travel expert, but I will tell you in terms of PTSD and my work with the Air Force, and also having worked with the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program, when I worked for the Medical Evaluation Board Program for airmen that were being discharged for different reasons. The Air Force Wounded Warrior Program was one of our stakeholding agencies that was right there in the same directorate. And I will tell you, for that population, a huge, again, it centers around travel as well, a huge resiliency tool in that toolbox was sports.
Sports,
Okay. So the Invictus Games, every year, the Invictus Games would be held in a worldwide location. I think a year ago it was in Germany. Not sure where it'll be this year, but they always take these wounded warriors, visible wounds and invisible wounds, and they fly them somewhere in the world to either support the games, also their caregivers. They also take care of their caregivers. And they pick an international location somewhere so that while they're there, they can do tours, they can enjoy the scenery, they can enjoy the international interaction. All of that is indigenous to the way that travel helps to calm us, to give us a sense of hope. Basically, travel fills our cup, whether those wounds are invisible or visible. That's what travel does. And so I would say absolutely it's prescribed, especially with those specific programs for our wounded warriors. Absolutely.
That's good to know, because we do have a lot of folks that are dealing with mental health, and one of those is PTSD. And again, it's not always about pharmaceutical drugs and that type of stuff. Sometimes you can use some of the things that God created, like getting yourself out of your own familiarity and seeing the world. And that's what travel is all about. Well, Cindy, thank you for being with us tonight. Cindy Storroy from Storybook Vacations, ladies and gentlemen. And again, how can folks get in touch with you one more time?
Yes, absolutely. Friend us on Facebook, Storybook Vacations. You'll see mine and my husband's picture. Right there on the front, we have a business page and a personal page. It's just Storybook, one word, Vacations. Go ahead and like us and friend us, and we will absolutely get in touch with you. Let us know if you saw us on BVN tonight. Absolutely let us know so that we know that you saw the show. And we can talk to you about travel, about planning your vacation, or about becoming a travel agent. We'd absolutely love to speak with you.
Very good. And again, thank you all for coming tonight. This is Press Play, our weekly broadcast. Again, we've been talking about the topic of COVID-19 and its responses of frontline workers we've had on the show. And we're always looking for new folks to come on and share your therapies or even philosophies about how folks can deal with COVID-19. I don't think it's going away anytime soon, as again, they're still trying to figure out what the new normal look like. We will likely spend a year just in recovery next year. So it will take time before a lot of things get better. Blackbookstudios.org is our website for our nonprofit organization. We also have a website for all things COVID, blackimpactsab.org, blackimpactsab.org. We've got PPE equipment that we're